in the area of guidance, counseling. So is there any problem, any situation going on in your life that you would like a little help with? No?
Squeaky floors.
Squeaky doors. Squeaky doors.
Floors.
Oh, squeaky floors, silly me. It's amazing, sorry, I wasn't listening. It's amazing how we can start with some pretty good advice for you, and gradually it just kind of gets worse and worse and worse. But we would like to help you with some of that with our best advice right here. How can you help with squeaky floors?
Squeaky floors or floors?
Squeaky floors a lot, yeah. Squeaky floors. Yeah, we're starting some really good advice right here.
I'm the really good advice man.
And we'll just work our way down.
Yeah, I thought he was like a specific person at the school.
Oh, no. You're all guidance counselors.
We're all, she said that at the beginning of the whole scale.
But I'm sorry if you weren't listening because you were supposed to be talking. All right.
We're all guidance counselors.
Oh, okay.
And we're all for giving the same student the same, different advice. On squeaky floor. Why
Please
squeaky
bear with us
squeaky
while we
floors,
learn
I do
how to
not
play
know.
the game.
But anyway, my advice for you on squeaky floors is you need to get up under that floor and fix the joists. That will solve the squeaky floor.
How do you know her name is Joyce?
Oh, well, she's been down there quite a while. She's been down there a long time.
Okay.
It's hard to stop squeaking.
Okay, well that's pretty good advice. That's good. Terry, what do you have?
I think that advice stinks. As a guidance counselor for many, many years, I would suggest first group counseling and try to figure out why your floor has squeak anger issues.
Okay, so you suggest counseling for the floor.
Yes.
Quite interesting, yeah. And Carrie, that was interesting advice. Do you have anything back?
Well, I always thought was for a squeak like that, just turn up the radio.
Yeah, so you're turning up the radio and here's about the
You
squeak.
don't hear the squeak anymore.
All right. Well,
We do it all right.
Mr. Camplain, I'm sure that you've got some advice.
I don't know why I'm here. I teach shop 5 periods a day. So, if you got a squeaky floor, the first thing you do is you get a big drill. And you get this long bolt. And you put it in there, and you turn it, and you turn it, and you turn it. If that don't work, you get another piece of plywood. If that don't work, you just start slapping her long enough that you can't hear the floor squeak no more.
Okay, well that's pretty good.
I think Mr. Camplain, as shop manager, has some very serious bolted to the floor issues. And I think he should enroll in a special anger management class dealing with that.
Okay, let's move on. Please give us another problem that you might have.
Teacher who gives too much homework.
Oh, I hate when that happens. Teachers that give too much homework.
Especially sixth grade teachers.
Especially sixth grade. Sixth grade is that pivotal year when those teachers can just screw those kids up some point. Please start us out with some very good advice.
If you don't want to do it, just don't do it.
Wow, that's great advice.
That's why in shop we don't give homework.
And your management.
Carrie,
Don't make me give you 3 upside the head.
Carrie, what would your advice be to sixth grade teachers getting too much?
What I would do as a student, I would bring my dog right to school. I mean, let's cut out the middleman. Are you feeling me? The dog. Bring the dog right to the school, sixth grade teacher, and the dog the homework gets eaten, boom. Cut out the middleman.
Gotcha, okay. Diggle?
I would think the first thing the parents should do would be to sit down with the teacher and ask the teacher in a most kind way, why do you feel a need that you must give so much homework? Is there something in your background that maybe causes you to give so much homework? And if there is, possibly you should sign up for homework anger management classes.
What pansy school did you go to? I think you
Yeah, that was quite interesting. Well, actually, there's a reason that most sixth grade teachers give a lot of homework is because most of them really don't have much of a life. So with a sixth grade teacher, most of them sit at home, they're not married, they don't have any kids, they're alone with their cat, or multiple cats. So they like to take it out on their students. And so it's a really unfortunate thing that's happened in society with sixth grade teachers. But you have to be patient with that 6th grade teacher, and if that doesn't work, then you just have her fired.
Well, that makes sense, yeah.
Or him. Or
Yeah,
him.
or him, yes, nice.
Sure.
Another problem you might be having.
We learned how to change our oil, or remove the oil out of our vehicle in automotive class, but the teacher never instructed us how to do it.
Oh, so you removed the oil, but you did not refill the oil. That's a problem. That's a problem. Mr. Fryer?
Yeah, well, I've got a great answer for this.
Thank you.
Very well. Okay, so the shop teacher that you took class with showed you how to take the oil out of the engine, out of the car, but he did not show you how to replace it. So what you have to do then is, now I've never taken shop, I really have no idea about automotive, but I would say that if you had taken the oil out of the engine, you take the pan that the oil was in, you bring it up, set it on a table, make sure it doesn't spill. Get a nice big funnel, and there's a cap, I think, somewhere on the engine somewhere. You take that cap off, you take the funnel, you put the funnel on there, you take that pan of oil and you pour it back in. And then when you're all done with that, you put that cap back on and you're good to roll.
Really? And you've never done this before?
I haven't, no, no. That would be my advice anyway.
Mr. Dicko?
I think it's obvious that the shop teacher at Kishwaukee College who is doing this has an anger issue. And you know, I am so tired of these people who have anger issues and they don't go to counseling, but they take it out on innocent people like 6th graders with too much homework or squeaky floors or mixing oil. Why don't they get a life?
Are you listening to yourself? Yeah, maybe you should check yourself.
Great.
That was
Okay.
nice.
Ms. Johnson? Oil issues?
Well, I like to use a certain cleanser on my face so that it's not real greasy.
It's not those oils.
Oh, that was disgusting. I'm sorry, what? I wasn't.
Not an oily face issue. We're talking about engine oil.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking about my face. Wow.
I'm surprised woman didn't say you can't change your oil unless it really wants to change. Well, here's the facts. Listen here, knucklehead. You can take something out, you gotta put it back in. How hard is that?
See, I was right. Anger.
I have some facial scrub.
All right, I'm a little bit nervous, but one last question for our panel of experts. One more problem.
How to make brownies.
How to make brownies? Well, there's a situation. How would you make brownies, Mr. Fryer?
Well, usually do it about 7 o'clock in the morning and sometimes around 10 or 11 at night. Finally got it, huh? Well, you were talking about that oven.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, actually what you gotta do is you gotta buy yourself a box of that stuff, and you put like 20 eggs in the box. That's the stuff, and I think it's water, some salt, some batter, some olive oil, some paprika, and some pumpkin juice. You put that all in a bowl, you mix it up with a mixer, you put them in the little pan there, and you stick it in the oven at 600 for about 2 hours, and you're good.
You really don't get out much, do you?
No.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for that advice. Dicko?
I personally prefer doing it the homemade old-fashioned way. I go to the store and I buy some unbleached flour and I will carefully measure out 2 cups of the unbleached flour. Then I get some Hershey's 100% all natural cocoa and measure out 1/4 cup. Blend it with 3 farm fresh, hormone-free eggs that are from vegetarian-raised chickens. And
What color are your panties?
And then you whisk lightly until it's a lovely creamy mix. Then if you want, you can put in some almonds, or I don't like them with almonds.
Hey,
You
Martha.
put them in a 9 by 12 pan that's approximately 2 inches deep. Smooth it out and then put it in the oven for approximately 45 minutes
You didn't say what temperature.
at 275 degrees. But heaven forbid the oven don't work that morning and you stick them in there and they cook for 4 hours. Then you stick your hand in there and all you get is a glop of crud that looks like your stinking used motor oil that nobody put back. And you know what? You know what?
What?
I still eat it.
If you would have changed the oil in the oven properly, you probably would have made it right.
Okay, Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
please.
Well, how do you make a brownie? It's very simple. I don't know what you guys are talking about. What you do is you take a little girl and you teach her how to camp. You teach her how to sew.
Big snack.
You give her like little buttons. You show her on a little thing, and she's just thrilled to death. You know, you just outdoorsitize a small.
Wow.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, which is really creepy.
I thought you were gonna go with something like this. So you take some plants from his yard.
Okay.